In this video, we're back at the high wall hunting an evening sit, and things get interesting pretty fast. But just a note to bear with us on the footage. Dad's on the ground, hand-holding, filming for us. He doesn't have a whole lot of experience filming. I was all the way up here, and he was clear on the ground, so we couldn't talk and communicate very well. It's a little jumpy. Dad doesn't have a whole lot of camera experience. We're just glad he comes out here and grabs the camera for us every once in a while. So no need to leave a comment and tell us about it. We already know it's not an ideal setting out here all the time to be filming. Sometimes you just gotta work with what you got, and that's what we had to do, as you'll see in this hunt. So bear with us on the footage, but I think you'll enjoy this hunt. Dad and I are headed in for an evening hunt, going back into the high wall. It's our first sit back in at the high wall. Our Southern Public Land Unit's been really slow this year. Granted, we've been hunting a few different areas where we bumped some deer, bumped some bucks, and thought maybe it'd be good. Those spots have not panned out, so headed back into the high wall. High wall is usually pretty good for us, so gonna give it an evening sit. Got the right wind. Hopefully we see some good deer movement. It's October, hoping to see some bucks up on their feet tonight. So got a long walk in. We'll head in, get set up in our good old trusty high wall spot and see what happens tonight. make this interview here really quick and really quiet. The high wall always throws us for a loop and does something different. Today, it decided to send a buck towards us when we're halfway up the tree. I'm halfway up the tree putting the stand up. Dad's on the ground. The doe starts coming in. And then he looks up and there's a decent-sized buck I was going to shoot anyway, following her, coming right in. And we're not anywhere close to set up. We came in with plenty of time. Thought we had plenty of time. We're pretty quiet, but they caught us hanging our stand. I think if we wouldn't have been, halfway through hanging our stand, I think we could have got a shot at that buck. So they obviously kind of spooked when they got within about 20 yards and saw two things hanging off the tree and something hanging on the ground. So they didn't spook too bad. We've got a little bit of time left. We're crossing our fingers. They come back through. It seemed like there was 3 or 4 does in there and then this buck. So I'm in the tree. Dad is sitting down there at the bottom of the tree, just trying to hide and stay out of the way. So we're crossing our fingers. They come back in. But like we always say, the high wall never disappoints. And this time it kind of threw us for a loop and sent some deer a little early. So we'll sit here for the rest of the evening. Dad on the ground, me on the tree. See what we can't make happen, and hopefully we didn't screw things up too bad. Back at it again this morning. Dad and I had a really good hunt back at the high wall yesterday. A couple of shooter bucks in there, so hoping we see one of them again this morning. The high wall's back here behind me. I've moved this way about 60 or 70 yards. That's where we were kind of seeing all the action. That's where those bucks were coming from, so I'm expecting them to be bedding kind of right here in this area. This is a spot that we've hunted quite a bit over the years. It's always a good spot for us. The bedding, like I said, I think is right in here. The buck bedding, always does filtering through, but last night's hunt was pretty good. But I moved to where that action was. I've heard deer as I was getting set up this morning all around me, so something should be walking through here. Hopefully it's a buck and we get a shot at one. Real cold this morning. I switched from a ball cap to a stocking hat because it's first real chilly morning I've been out. So hopefully that helps the deer movement. Things are on their feet and they move back in here to this bedding area this morning. Been sitting here for a couple hours this morning. That was the first deer of the morning. Looked like two does. I think one of them might have been the spike from yesterday, but I couldn't really tell. So either two does or a doe and a spike. But kind of got down here and turned around and then worked back towards where we were sitting yesterday. So first deer of the day. Hopefully that means there's a few more on the way because it's been a little slow, especially after all the deer that were in here yesterday. So starting to warm up a little bit. A little chilly this morning. We'll sit a little while longer and hopefully see more deer than that. that's going to be a wrap on this morning's hunt. Definitely not as much movement back in here as I expected, just based off yesterday evening's hunt. Only saw, I think, a couple does and that spike moving through here. Expected to see a little bit more, but we did disturb things a little bit yesterday with our hunt, so that could be partially to blame for the slow movement this morning. But the high wall always makes things interesting. When you think you're not going to see anything, you see a bunch, and when you think you're going to see a bunch, you don't see anything. So that always keeps you on your toes back here in this area. But I'm glad to finally have a good hunt down here in our southern public land unit. It's been a long time since we had a good hunt down here this year on this property for whatever reason. So there was actually quite a few hunters here yesterday evening, so I think the pressure's picking up a little bit down in here, but I think that's pushing the deer back in here to this area. That seems to be the case in most years. But as always, guys, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.